Hey people, my name is Yannick Mount.
And my name is Alexander Freund, and we are here to react to our live set that we've built for Production Music Live.
So we started with a very simple Ableton blank project with no tracks inside and ended up with a fully mapped, controlled system live set inside Ableton, which was super flexible for us, even with vocals and live synthesizer playing.
So let's hit play and dive in.
So for each and every track we have two different stems. So first we have a loop stem that we can control in and out things, and then we have the actual arrangement stem for each track. So at a certain point when we don't want to make the arrangement by ourselves, we just go into those stems and then the track will play as it was produced. We can decide here how long we want to make the break, because we're working with those stem loops. We can take loops out, and now let's get the kick going. So being in full control over the arrangement in certain parts is super fun, and I think that's what's meant by playing live, right? Creating those moments live on stage in the studio. Alright, so you can hear the white noise here again, just covering up some transitional moments. There I'm triggering all the different clips. So you can see on the top line we have 3 stems, kick, bass and some synths from the previous track. But I'm already having the new drums coming in, getting the loudness up on the right controller. So, starting the new track with the drums, I think that's it's like DJing, right? That's a good way to transition from one track to another.
And what is shown here, that having the effect on your fingers, playing around with it, this gives a feeling of being live, being on stage. It's super fun. And now we took our time, we got a bit into it, and now you can see how things are just running, and that's super fun. I remember how good it felt, and this is the main thing. This is what needs to be shared.
Alright, so here I'm switching the different synthesizers from each track, so I can record arm a synth. And then you can see here I have this MIDI quantizer and the scaler plugin. So the MIDI quantize plugin will just quantize any incoming MIDI information from me rhythmically to the proper 16th note, so I cannot technically play so much wrong. And the scaler will put it into the right scale. So these are just little tools that we explore in the whole live set that will help you to, feel comfortable on stage if you're not a very good piano player.
And what you can see here, how great it is to use a tool like that just for creating ideas. I mean, this is kind of a first rehearsal with our live set. And now a lot of ideas come up, different vocal lines, different effects, different moments, changes of the grooves. We rebuilt the system kind of a way how the tracks work, put them together, and just imagine doing this for a little while, rehearsing like this for a few days, and where you'll be then.
Yeah, because you will find out the strong moments that you can create together, and then you will get much better at it.
And you can tell by my own reaction that I started feeling more confidence in the process, so it right away starts to be more open and more filled with spirit. It's good. And what you've seen here is how 2 tracks merge to become one good moment. So we had the higher percussions, the cymbals from one track, and bass drum and bass and chords from the other. And you find out it's fun and it works together.
Yeah, and you really don't want to take out those high ends now too fast, because it will just create confusion on the dance floor. So my recommendation for finding some melody fragments live on stage, if you haven't prepared them, is to start low in the filter and just, barely hear them, and then you can, start fooling around, and once you get comfortable with the pattern, you start opening up the synth.
always so interesting what you can find in these little bits of the vocals, reversing it, filtering them. You find completely new aspects of one melody that came to your mind.
I think all the controllers and all of this is just like this big system of starting to make good choices, what you want to present live, what it is that you want to make on stage without getting stressed out, and then transferring that vision that you have into knobs and mappings and effects and systems of leveling and mixing and transitioning. And I think that's like kind of the hardest thing about live sets, is just you have this vision, this artistic vision of yourself, and you have your tracks and your skills, but how do you perform them? How do you make it possible? And I think the whole course is really about, I mean, we go into MIDI mapping, we go into the controllers, but all with this kind of freedom that we want to leave you as an artist, because this is a blueprint, but it's nothing that you have to do in the exact way as we did it. We're just giving you a system that you could use for yourself. So now we are transferring from a stem track to a full track at this moment. So the whole live set, we have full tracks and we have our stem tracks. So I think that's pretty nice, because if you want to play a live set in a club situation, maybe you have to play like 1.5 hours or something, but you just have tracks for like half an hour or an hour, then you still can integrate tracks from other artists into your live set. The white noise was really our lifesaver.
Yeah, though, I mean, it's just such a nice noise, and it's so good when you create a nice noise. But to be super honest, there's so much that you are doing on that left side that carries that live impression.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that white noise is a very obvious way how to implement something, and we can see now, reacting to it, how good it feels. But I mean, playing the keys live to the sets, combining the tracks, making it possible to react to the flow we create, all this is in here with that little setup. It's so good. It's something you would and could only reach, this is what I thought a long time, with bigger setups. But with that from zero setup, it's just working. I mean, also Ableton, it's not that we have these millions of plugins in here. We didn't invest too much money-wise to have this setup running, you know? One thing that we've solved with the setup is how to make your own tracks sound great in comparison to other already prepared tracks. And this is super important, that you are able to test your ideas, to test your tracks. In our class, we show how to mix in a way that you do not go crazy about it, but you get exactly to that sweet spot where it's possible to play your own tracks between, for example, in a hybrid set, already mastered, completely mixed tracks, and it feels right and nice, and it doesn't cause any problem, and you don't have to feel bad about anything. You can just be confident that this is a moment, because this is what it is about in playing live. It's not about perfection. It's about creating a moment. Just choose your freedom.
Talking about the track list, that's something we prepared earlier on, but this is our first rehearsal. So after this, we would sit together and say, wow, this track was very light energy after this darker section, or we need some more dancey and ongoing energy right here. So playing this through and making your choices and starting to fool around with the track lists and the effects and fine tweaking. This is an ongoing creative process, and it's creating even more freedom for you if you do it. So we're transitioning to the next track right here, and based off your genre, your transitions may be a little bit more longer and progressive, or shorter and more tight. Okay, so now we're playing the song that we also produced while recording this whole live set. because, as you said earlier, I think it's a real live situation. You have this song, you have this loop, you really like it, but it's not a fully arranged song. So we put something like this in our live set just to test it out if it works. So you can hear this high voice in the synth now, and that's coming from this special knob.
Sorry to stop it right here in the ramp where all the fun is happening.
Yeah.
But what we did here, just to explain it, how that tension comes up, we've created a special knob on the MIDI mix, and that special knob is used on the most special parts of the live synth Yannick is playing. So when this knob is moved, the main elements that make a difference on the sound, open it up, making it wider, making it more interesting, are just on one knob. And the way we created it is it's usable on all the songs at the same time. So the same knob is doing the same thing on every track, though the sounds that it changed are different. And that makes it so suitable to have it on only one little MIDI mix. And yeah, it's so versatile. It's fun. Also, what you're going to find out in the class is how we've mapped these one-ups left, right, different, and so on, because we had to bring a lot of stuff on one little thing, and it worked out very, very well. That moment worked super fine. I also loved how long it took. There were several moments when you thought, now it's coming, now it's coming. And then it took longer and longer, and it got more, and in fact it got more tension and more tension. It wasn't a disappointment.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I think the system behind creating that arrangement is kind of always the same. It's like making your sounds longer, less bass sounds, making them more reverberized, more effects, more high voices, and then coming down to this like kick, bass, and dry synth part. And that's just creating this very nice contrast.
So I must say, I like the situation it is in right now in a long set. Remember, a set that you're playing is not about being on top limits for 2 hours. Who wants that? Nobody wants that, and nobody can stand it. So this is kind of a misunderstanding maybe that happens sometimes, that you might think in a live set it's about creating the biggest moment all the time. But to have a big moment, you need the release too, and you need the time to find into a situation, and the audience needs it too. And I'm sure you've had these moments yourself. You've been somewhere, the energy was super high, ongoing, and it never went down, never evolved somewhere else. And what happens is after 20 minutes, you're done. It's even if you would laugh endlessly after 20 minutes, you'd be done. You need... For the body, for your mind, for the soul, for the emotion, you need variation. And you also need moments of release. And this is kind of a moment like that. In a set, moments like this are good. It's just going. It's running. It's some time to get back, to put your feet back on the ground, to prepare to the next evolving.
100%. No, it's like this Russian Matrushka system, right? Where you have like on a smaller level, you have contrasts in the track. You want to have something with a lot of bass, a lot of drums, something with nothing of all of that, but just something very emotional, some lush chords, and that contrast, but on a higher level. With the tracks, that's actually exactly the same principle there as well. So you want to have high energy tracks, darker ones, and switch between all of those different kind of feelings and emotions. And I mean, in the end, that's something that's completely up to you, right? It's not that we're saying you have to be very contrasty all the time. If you really like this one mood, I mean, you can play a straight up techno set with one vibe also. That's also a vibe.
Yeah, you're right. And even there, you have that saying hello, that bringing it to certain points, saying goodbye,
Yeah.
the size of the contrast or the intensity of the contrast doesn't matter, but being evolving in a specific way. And if it is that the bass drum just change very slowly over a long time or whatever, this is just a great help, isn't it?
100%. Yeah, it's true. And it's happening in all of the genres to different extents.
Yeah, in different time scales.
True.
There's a nice saying that says, you wake up with the vocal you have that day. Yeah, if I'd sing it now, it would be very different. I'd have other ideas, other issues or challenges with it, but just taking and accepting it and then sharing the moments with the people, I learned this is the best thing to do. It's so good when you just open and curious and ready to share the emotion in a room. And this again makes it, like the lyric says, it doesn't have to be right to be okay. And I would go even further. It doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful and to be a great experience and to be emotionally something you won't forget.
And that's really the vibe we had in the course as well, especially from your side, which I found super important for this, because I think we can get lost in perfectionism at so many points, because a live set can be something very complicated. But creating that freedom in that moment, I think we try to really give you a good feeling for yourself, and that you can play live, no matter if you can sing, if you are an instrumentalist, if you're only playing tracks from other people in Ableton and mixing up with stems. It doesn't matter. It just has to feel right.
On that day, we had that main thing, choose your freedom. And choose your freedom means get the freedom to be ready to share. And when I get to this point now, I'd say, in a way, it's not about playing live, it's about sharing live too. And this is what playing live makes so wonderful and different. This is what makes it an experience.
Yeah, and it's such a great final song, really. I really like this one. I think this one I would definitely keep as our final song with this live set, because it's just like pushing up so much. I really like the idea to close the floor with the highest energy, or a high energy in general. I think I personally like that, rather than like going down energy wise, but leaving with a bang and then just like going off stage and that's it.
This is something I would give as an advice. Record yourself when you rehearse, like we did here for the first time, so you can remember the good parts and work on the bad parts. And you might be very surprised, even when you just record it with the phone in the room, the moments that might have felt good could turn out as too much or too complicated, and moments that you didn't like in the session could turn out as little gold pieces you wouldn't want to miss. And one thing that comes to my mind too is it's such a creative tool. This is not only about playing live in the club, it's also about creating new ideas, new melodies, new sounds, new combinations of rhythms and melodies.
100%. And on a technical level, that's all something we cover in the whole course. We go into mixing, we go into stem exporting, we go into making transitions, building effects, building racks, building those macros, MIDI mapping. And MIDI mapping is not only something that you can use live on a stage, but it's also something so cool in your studio. If you have like a controller, if you have some controllers and you build your template, this is a lot of also about like template production for yourself at home, because you are working with a very nice template in your room, and I am doing this as well. And I think everybody who has some kind of gear or some kind of a system already will work that way. So just by starting to get into this way of thinking, of working in this template system styles, super beneficial to all of your productions, not only playing live. Make sure if you want to play live and you liked what you've seen and you want to have this vibe, then check out our course. It's now online via PML.